Okay, so while the core support is sitting out there cooking, I've got the inner fenders. This is also from the donor. And same thing, I'm gonna clean this up. Get off of there, you rascally varmint. Ouch. All right, so I'm gonna clean this up and probably remove this so jack won't be in there. This is for the driver's side. I'm gonna do the driver's side first because then I can get that in. I may have to trim for the Crown Victoria front end down in here. I don't know yet, but if I do the driver's side first, that'll allow me to put the booster in place, put the regulator in place and the master cylinder, and then run on my brake lines so I can get all that stuff taken care of. So the driver's side is going to take priority as far as the two are concerned. The other one's sitting over there. So same thing, take it apart, wire wheel it. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of welding work to be done on this one. Got the core support is inside the shop right now. Working on the passenger side inner fender.
Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of welding work to be done on this one.
And this is awful. All this is rusted through. All this needs to be cut out and repaired. I don't know how much of this metal I'll be able to salvage versus how much I'm going to have to make. It's kind of mangled right there. And really, I would be happier just buying a new inner fender, but not going to happen. So I'm going to take this whole tray off, and this thing is rusted through pretty bad. So all of that's rusted through. So I'm just going to take that whole section out and put in a new piece of metal. I just have to be careful. Some of this stuff will be really easy. I'm not planning on putting the battery back in here. I'm going to build a battery box for it and put the battery somewhere else. Just this section here needs to go back to where it is. And so that's the only thing I'm running into right now. Was I tightening that the whole time? Oh my God. I'm gonna check the donor cab too, seeing if this area was intact so I could try to use it so I could maintain the shape, but it's not. So I'm pretty much going for broke here. So it's going to cut out the section, and then there we go. And so I'm just going to cut out the section and then try to replicate this, but a flat piece as opposed to a bent up piece. And this gives me a lot better metal to weld to. This is from one of the floor pans I screwed up. This is on the passenger side. So anyway, this gives me some material I can use. This little flat section over in here. Okay, so I've got this piece. Traced out. Try to get as flat as I can. I'll have to work this smooth. But I'll go ahead and get this thing cut out and then start working it and see what I can do to get it down in there. Okay, I've got all of this tacked in. Needs to be trimmed down here on the bottom, and I need to put that hole in there. This was a flippin' mess because when I was hitting it with the wire wheel, I ended up making I gouged it, made a big hole, so I had a lot to fill in. So I reinforced it on the back. Not particularly happy with that, but otherwise that's solid again. And I was just screwing around filling in some of these holes. Here I took a piece of copper pipe and put it in behind, gave me something to weld up against. Alright, so I got the glass in, and makes it look like a vehicle now. And I make no apologies for this color. I love it in the sunlight. Absolutely gorgeous. Could not be happier. Windshield's in, rear glass is in, all new rubber, obviously. And now I'm working on trying to get that engine bay finished up. So I've got these parts hanging here. This is the driver's side. Here's the core support. That's where I did that repair. There's still some rust holes right in here, some right up in here, but it'll hold together, so I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. There's the passenger side. There's what used to be the battery tray. There were reinforcements also for it to have a battery, but it's not going to have a battery there again. If anything, I may use that as a junction area to put some of the electronics, maybe even put in a smaller box to put all my electronics, electronic ignition, stuff like that in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot these in epoxy. I've already got the epoxy set up, ready to shoot. And then I'm just going to rattle can these with some satin black. I'm not going through all the trouble of mixing up really expensive paint on these. Someday, maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know. I'd like to build some new sheet metal inner fenders that are just completely smooth, hide all the wiring underneath the engine compartment, but like I said, I'm not there yet. I just want to drive it, so I don't care. And then this here, this is a temporary solution. It'll last for as long as it lasts, and then I'll get another one then when I need it. But I think that I think all the repair that I did was going to last me a couple of years, and it didn't cost me anything to do it, just a lot of time. So start getting these things into paint, or excuse me, let's get these things into epoxy. These are fully coated in 2 medium coats of epoxy. You can see it's still shiny, and as it flashes off, it starts to get it'll start to dull out a little bit. And after an hour, I can coat these. I'm just going to shoot them with some Rust-Oleum satin black, nothing special, nothing fancy. I'm getting better, but I gotta run there. Doggone it. I thought for sure I'd get away from getting runs this time. I was like, I knew I could do it, but... So, those are gonna look good, though. They will definitely get the job done. So just the cheap Rust-Oleum satin enamel. It'll go on there. It's just painted this, and now I'm working on the inner fenders. I've only got 3 cans, so I'm hoping it's enough. But with all 3 of these pieces fully coated, multiple coats, and this one's still wet. It took me 3 cans. Got a coat or a can over there, and then got these 2 right here. Looks good. Very anxious to get the new radiator in there. Cannot wait to see how that's going to look.